We're thrilled to have welcomed our first grandbaby recently. But growing this precious human hasn't been easy on our daughter. The unrelenting pregnancy fatigue really took it out of her.
One thing that helped was keeping her fluids up, and she loved Rehydrate. Rehydrate is an essential electrolyte drink made by some great guys right here in Brizzy. It's safe during pregnancy and breastfeeding and is like a magical little energy and hydration boost for mum and bub.
If you're growing a little human or are just feeling a little run down, grab some at Coles today.
Kids, you need to share. You know that thing? When it came to Kylie's mango, there was no such thing as sharing. It's like, who touched my mango? It was Captain Cranky. It's the Happy Families podcast, the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now. Hello, my name is Dr. Justin Coulson, the author of 6 books about raising happy families and dad to 6 daughters with my wonderful wife and co-host, Mrs. Happy Families, who's smiling at me like sunshine right now. We are just so happy about having 6 kids and having the chance to talk about what it is to raise a happy family on this podcast. And today we're going to talk about book club, because for those of you who are not Happy Families members, every Wednesday night this month, that's 4 consecutive Wednesday nights, we're running a book club about my book, 21 Days to a Happier Family. Well, Kylie's running it. I'm not involved in it. And what are we talking about tonight?
Well, tonight we're actually looking at creating strong family traditions and making family life fun.
You know, I like the second part more than the first part. When you talk about creating strong family traditions, my instant reaction is, oh, that sounds hard. And I think about family reunions that I used to have to go to as a kid, and I didn't know anybody, and it was so boring. And I don't know, the idea of creating a family tradition sounds like hard work. And it wasn't until I wrote the book that I discovered that family traditions don't have to be hard work at all. In fact, we've got a whole bunch of them that we didn't even know we had.
Well, you know, it was funny because while I was reading up for in preparation for book club.
I love that you're studying my books. That makes me, I'm so glad.
Well, can I tell you, outside of recording this podcast, book club is actually my favourite thing to do in my week. I absolutely love not only being able to spend time with other parents who are like-minded and striving to create happier families, but I actually do get to read your books because it's been a while. I haven't really had the opportunity to immerse myself in it because I'm living it.
Is it true, just out of interest, that you've only read 2 of my 6 books?
It is true.
Okay, so I want you to keep doing book club until you've done all 6 of my books. That's the deal. So now that you've read 2, you've read What Your Child Needs From You, which is a very quick read, 2 hours, and 21 Days to a Happier Family. Have you read the whole thing of 21 Days? You have?
I have.
Yeah. Which one did you like best?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot.
Totally.
I think your writing's getting better with age. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 21 Days is definitely, having now read it almost twice now, it's definitely a better read.
I'm really excited for what you think about 9 Ways to a Resilient Child, but that can be next year. Let's talk about traditions.
Well, I wanted to share a quote that I found.
Yeah.
Don't get a big head.
Okay, all right.
It is you who said it.
You're about to quote me. This is so cool.
But you say traditions give the promise of wonderful memories, but they also give our children and us something to look forward to. They build optimism and hope. And I just loved that because I've seen it in our children. There are a few traditions that we have created over the years that have actually really come out of hardship for our family, that the children, even now, with that hardship gone and overcome, they still anxiously want and wait for that moment.
I think I know which one you're thinking about, but is this a Christmas tradition?
This is a Christmas tradition.
So tell everyone about this one.
So way back when we were quite young and you were a student, we didn't have a lot of money, and obviously stockings are a big deal for children. They really want to have a stocking.
Well, it's funny because even the Christmas stocking, that's a Christmas tradition that you've brought from your family. In my family, we had a stocking, but Mum just used to chuck some junk food in it. Whereas you do stockings so differently, that you put so much thought into the Christmas stocking. And maybe as we get closer to Christmas, we can talk about what you do and why you do it. But the specific tradition that you want to share about our economic hardship and the stocking is?
Well, the stocking's so big.
Well, that's because you bought big stockings. When I was a kid, Mum had little stockings that she jammed full of junk food. You've got these huge stockings.
The stockings are so big, and there's nothing worse than getting a stocking with just a few things stuck in the toe. And so I tried to think of what I could put in the stocking that would fill it up but wouldn't cost us an arm and a leg, because we didn't have a lot at that point in our lives.
We didn't have anything.
And so one of the delicacies, actually there was 2 delicacies in our home that we very rarely got to have, and generally it would be saved for you or I, because one of them is a treat that you absolutely loved and one was mine. If I had a little bit of spare money, I would buy the biggest mango in the fruit shop that I could find.
So I don't like mangoes at all, but Kylie loves mangoes.
I do. And over time, each of the children have decided that they just love them as well, which was really upsetting to me because up until then, I had this whole mango to myself.
You know that whole kids, you need to share, you know that thing? When it came to Kylie's mango, there was no such thing as sharing. It's like, who touched my mango? It was Captain Cranky.
I'd eat it over a few days. It was such a delicacy. So I decided one year that I would buy a case of mangoes and that would fit in the toe of the stocking. So they obviously got a few little treats, but the other delicacy in our home was a ginger beer.
Bundaberg ginger beer.
And you just loved a good ginger beer, nice chilled.
Hashtag not sponsored. Just putting it out there. Just saying, I really love a good Bundaberg ginger beer.
And so did the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and because we had no money, and Bundaberg ginger beer is like one of the more expensive soft drinks you can buy from the soft drink aisle at the supermarket, we would buy some ginger beer and it would be in the fridge and the kids would be like, can I? And as soon as we would open one, I wouldn't get any because I'd have to share it with the kids and I'd be like, oh, this is so unfair.
Everybody would get a sip of one little bottle, wouldn't they? And so Christmas was something that they really looked forward to because with that big mango and that ginger beer bottle in there, it pretty much filled up their stocking with a few little other treats.
Yeah, and so that's kind of become the tradition. And now, I mean, we can probably buy mangoes a lot more readily today than we could back then when we were students. We've got enough money to buy mangoes if we want to have them, but we still don't really buy them much because they are a bit of an extravagance. But the kids know every Christmas morning they're going to wake up and there's going to be a ginger beer and a mango, and that's, I mean, we're not supposed to do this, but that's pretty much what they have for breakfast on Christmas Day. They're so excited about their mango and their ginger beer. So let's talk more about how easy it is to create these traditions in just a sec. I've got a couple that I want to share, and I reckon you'd have at least one more.
Imagine a home where discipline got results without anyone having to feel bad or in trouble. The Do's and Don'ts of Discipline is a webinar to help parents set limits with love, compassion, and humanity. Find it now at happyfamilies.com.au/shop.
It's the Happy Families Podcast, the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers. Now, we're talking about how easy it is to create traditions and how those traditions don't just give us memories and roots that anchor us into hopefully a wonderful past, but they give us hope and optimism for an exciting future. We've just been talking about how Christmas is a time that the kids look forward to because they know we've got a tradition that the stocking will have at least a mango and ginger beer, not to mention all the other treats and goodies. You know what one of my favourite traditions is?
Tell me.
You will hate this one.
I already know. I know what you're going to say.
It involves my mum. Is the one you're thinking of?
Yes.
So my mum cannot sing to save herself. I'm so sorry, Mum, if you listen to the podcast. My mum, she knows it. And because she knows it, when she sings, she actually intentionally makes herself sound like a strangled chicken.
She does.
So, she really...
Even when we're supposed to be serious, it's very hard to sit next to her.
Either that or she goes operatic. But it's never in tune. It's just... Anyway, my mum, when we're singing Happy Birthday, something happened many, many years ago. I don't know who or how it started, but basically we sing Happy Birthday and it's just awful. We sing we sing it in big voices. Happy Birthday. Yeah, we really belt it out. But then when we get to Happy Birthday, dear Kylie, and we just hold that note until the last person can't breathe and has turned red and is ready to pass out. And then we Happy Birthday to you, but we don't just sing you. We hold it. And Happy Birthday has become a tradition of long, loud, overblown ridiculousness.
Off key.
And it's got to be off key.
Off key.
Everybody sings different notes. It's tragically...
Honestly, I think that all of our neighbours can hear us for about a mile and think someone's being strangled.
And we've got such a big family that we sing it regularly. So they're all hearing it again and again and again. So for me, as terrible as that is, I just love the fun and I love the tradition. And after we've sung Happy Birthday, we tell the birth story of the person whose birthday it is, which I really love. And the kids love that as well.
For us as parents, it keeps it alive for us because it's really hard to keep track of them all. But they definitely remind us if we get the
every now and again we get the birth story wrong. Hang on, were you the one that we rushed to the hospital at 3 a.m. or at 1 a.m.? Anyway, so that's one of my favourites. All right, so let's do one more each really quickly.
Well, the last one's actually probably one of my favourite ones, and it's actually brand new. It's really just begun. It's come just like our mango and ginger beer out of hardship.
Yeah, out of COVID.
Out of COVID. COVID has created something amazing. So we had 2 birthdays during isolation, and Miss 10 was devastated. This was a big birthday for her, double digits. This is exciting.
No birthday parties because of government regulations.
No birthday parties, no friends, just no family. We couldn't even have our extended family over. It was really hard. And so trying to kind of think outside the box, how could I make this day special for her? And anybody who knows me knows that I love putting on a big event. And so utilising all of the wonderful bits and pieces I had from Chanel's wedding last year, we had the fairy lights and we had the crystal. I put on a big...
Fancy Royal Dalton, put together menus for the kids for this little restaurant that we created on our deck.
That's exactly right. And the kids just loved it. They got to get dressed up and get a little bit of makeup and their hair done. I had my oldest daughter drive them around the block, so they actually felt like they were arriving at a restaurant. They thought that was just the best
I was
news.
dressed up in the tuxedo. Welcome to the restaurant, kid. And we had a special name, which I can't reveal because it's a family secret, but we had a special name for the restaurant based on a previous fun family experience. And it was pretty epic, wasn't it?
It was. But it's become a tradition because one of our daughters just turned 18 a couple of weeks ago. And when I asked her what she wanted to do, she said, can we just do...
Insert name of restaurant here.
and have the restaurant. And what I love about this one is that this is actually a dinner party that we've set up just for our girls. So you and I aren't actually at the dinner table.
No, we're slaving away in the kitchen just dying. I don't know how people are professional cooks because the pressure is on. They've each ordered different entrees, different mains and different desserts. We've given them 3 or 4 options each. I mean, it's pretty full on in the kitchen when you're getting that many meals together. It
is very stressful. But what I'm loving is that there's something that's come out of, this difficult situation has become something that the kids really looked forward to. And at the end of our 18th daughter's birthday, our 6-year-old turned around and said, Mummy, can I have this particular birthday for my birthday next year?
She wants it when she turns 7. We can say it. It's called Little Marley's Secret. That's what we've called the restaurant, Little Marley's Secret. And we
might share it with you one day, but the story is a good one.
In fact, I don't know if we can. It's a bit embarrassing for that child. One of the kids did something terribly embarrassing at Little Marley's Beach in the Royal National Park south of Sydney, and that's where it came from.
And the kids love it. They love that that's the name of the restaurant. It comes up every time we sit down at the dinner table. And I think that, again, it's a celebration.
But that's what traditions are, right? It's a celebration of, in that case, silliness, but family time together, somebody doing something embarrassing, and now we've turned it into something really joyful and connective.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of traditions. And we've got a handful of others. I mean, you do this amazing stuff every Valentine's Day. You send the kids to school with lunch boxes full of pink Valentine's treats. And
I do love doing that.
So, I mean, you're really responsible more than me for the extraordinary, beautiful traditions that we have in our home. One of my favourites is one that we've actually stolen from overseas, from Iceland. There's this thing called Jollabokaflu. I don't know if I've said that correctly, but it basically means reading new books. And so every Christmas Eve, we send the kids to bed early with a new book. We buy them books for Christmas, and they get one of their new books for Christmas on Christmas Eve. And everyone goes to bed early, lights nice and low, hot chocolate, and we read books until we fall asleep on Christmas Eve. And we love that tradition.
And the kids love having an opportunity to be guilt-free in their reading, because that's a big deal in our house, getting a night to yourself to just read a book.
Okay, so the take-home message.
Well, at the beginning you talked about the fact that as a parent it seems overwhelming to have to create these traditions, and yet what we've experienced as we've shared the things that we have with everyone today is that they've actually created themselves. As we're intentional about the time that we spend with our families, inevitably traditions are created.
Yeah, we find stuff that we like doing and then we say, let's do that again. And if you make it on the same day and the same time, not only have you got those memories, but then you've got something to look forward to. And I think that's what's worked for us with traditions. I'm sure that there are other families that do it way better. If you do traditions that just rock, let us know. Podcasts at happyfamilies.com.au. So book club, it's happening tonight for those of you who are Happy Families members. If you're not a member, by the way, you can find all the information about how to become a member at happyfamilies.com.au. Just click on the membership tab and you'll get all the info about how you can join Kylie, Mrs. Happy Families, to talk about all the other great stuff that's in 21 Days to a Happier Family. It's our book club for this month. And if you've enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a rating and review via Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you get your podcasts. We got a really cool one come through, Kylie, that I'm going to share with you. It's a 5-star review from Lee Searle, who said...
Incredible duo. Wow.
Heck yeah.
What a wonderful addition to have Mrs. Happy Families included in this podcast. Your realness as a couple and as parents is refreshing and so relatable. Thank you for both being authentic and taking time to make these conversations happy. I am forever grateful for your guidance and expertise in parenting and marriage. Well, Lee, it's so wonderful. Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate the 5-star review, Lee. If you would please do the same as Lee, that would be great, because more people get to find out about the podcast when you leave ratings and reviews. It's what makes us more visible to everyone else so that we can make their families happy. If you'd like more information about how we can make your family happier, you can find us on Facebook at Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families. We're on Instagram as well, or you can visit happyfamilies.com.au.